Oh man, welcome back to the Word of Mouth podcast. Uh, I went on a little run there. I lost my voice. I think you could tell. So I was recording episodes. So I just went on a run of throwing old episodes that I had recorded before that I was beta testing and sending out to my friends via text and forcing them to listen to it and hearing their thoughts. So to kind of keep things going, I've been getting a lot of phone calls. I just talked to my buddy Miguel yesterday, and man, he said this is the deal. Jorge, shout out to you, Mike, the guys who called me up. I won't say your last name, but yeah, man. One of the things that everybody keeps telling me is they're like, dude, it's like you're telling the story of my life. I'm like, I know, because it's the story of most of our lives that joined the military. A lot of us, we didn't drink or we drank like kids in high school. Like it wasn't really a thing, right? Like maybe kids got drunk on their senior bonfire. Just alcohol wasn't a daily part of my life. It wasn't a part of my life growing up either. I said I grew up with champions. Like alcohol was not a part of my family. My cousin Jason and Gina and my aunt Deb and Uncle Dean, they were champion motorcycle riders, motocross, cross country, dirt bikes. So if we weren't at the YMCA lifting weights, playing basketball, swimming with my parents, a couple times a year we'd be out at the racetrack riding dirt bikes and getting banged up, like just being kids, having fun, being outside. This is a time before phones and stuff. It was awesome. I look back on my childhood and I'm like, damn. I look at the world today and I think, I am so glad I was born and raised in Texas, man. And this is also a shout out to my buddy Dan down in Tampa. Dan was like, hey, I love the episodes, but I think you kind of assumptive sell. He didn't say that. He didn't say assumptive sell. That was me. But essentially, what he was saying was, I'm kind of assuming that everybody knows me when they listen to this. And then I just looked at the geographical dispersion of downloads, and this show has been downloaded from the east to west coast, all over Europe and South Africa. So I can't just assume that the people listening to this know me. So as these episodes go on, you'll learn more and more about me and my background. I've already talked about my stepdad and growing up, some of the lessons that I've learned. And I appreciate Dan giving me that tweak because he's right. Like, not everybody knows who I am. So if you're still listening to this point, episode 14, no, it's further than that. Episode 15 is this. We just finished Toxic Breakup. And if you're still listening to this point, then you're interested, right? You're hooked. So I will continue telling more about my life as we go on. And I thank Dan for giving me that input. So here we are, Word of Mouth Podcast, episode 15. We just did a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 episode run of me just publishing old episodes because my voice was gone and kind of still is. But so let's recap some of these, man. Before I introduce the next episode, which is called Everything Is Not Fine. And this episode, Everything Is Not Fine, is really funny. It's good. But the episodes that we heard before, competitive self-care, I think it's so funny how special operators are just the most competitive people on the planet. Like, I tell my friend Chris about this whole getting up early, doing you before you do anything else. And he's immediately one-upping me by heating up his shaving foam and getting a straight razor or whatever. So I would not be surprised if people start one-upping that idea. But yeah, competitive self-care is a story about, slowing it down. You would be surprised. A lot of the chaos that you live with in your daily life, whether you're an alcoholic or not, is just because of you. It's all you, right? It's habit, right? It's human nature. Like, you just become a creature of habit. We all are, whether it's a good habit or a bad habit or a mediocre habit. And it's not till you hear another perspective that you would consider doing something else, right? And when I was going to AA and I heard the guy in there talk about how he got up early, I thought to look at my own life, and I'm like, wow, I could do the same thing. I kind of, what he was talking about with waking up in reaction mode every day to everything and how that affected his mental health throughout the day, because he would just be irritated, generally irritated and grumpy. And it makes sense, because the first thing he did when he woke up and took a breath was deal with other people's problems, right? Whether it's the dog that needs to go out, the twins that are fighting over the Roku remote or that are hungry, your wife asking if you can bring her a cup of coffee or something. It's like those little things just add up throughout the day. And so that's how you start your day here at home with your spouse, girlfriend, kids, dogs, whatever you got. If you're single, then, don't worry about this. And then off you go to your car to deal with traffic, to respond to other people cutting you off in red lights and the line at the gate, or, the parking garage at work, whatever. And you get to work. It's like, go here, go there, do this, do that, answer this email, right? You're just all day. You are just servicing other people. And it's not till you get home, till the end of the day, when everything's done, that you finally realize, like, dang, man, that day flew by and I haven't done anything for myself. So to flip the script and just to wake up early and take that time for you and get yourself fully ready, take a shower, shave, do your hair, get whatever it is you got to do, iron your clothes, make coffee, read a little bit, sit in silence, watch the news, journal, whatever. Taking that time and starting the day on your terms will do massive benefits for your life. I promise you, every single person that I have told that to has come back and said, that was one of the best things I ever did, was just get up early and do me, right? And then taking 1 minute on the clock 3 to 5 times a day. Shout out to my favorite brain lady, Jen, down in Dallas, Texas at the Center for Brain Health. She calls it the Fab Five, right? They talk about 5-minute breaks a day. Go for a walk. And these are breaks that you do that can be part of your normal routine. And just don't take your phone with you, right? So like, for example, when I was out on the West Coast, after I went through this training, I decided that from now on, when I have to use the bathroom, instead of using the one right there in our space, I was going to go downstairs across the street to the locker room. And that whole process would take me about 10 minutes to walk down there. That was my break. That was one of my 5 breaks, right? So I would do that 3 or 4 times throughout the workday. And then if I wanted coffee, instead of using the coffee machine that was right in our office, I'd use the one on the other end of the building. And the process of walking down there, starting the Keurig, making the cup, and walking back took me 10, 15 minutes. So there's ways you can do this throughout the day. And so for those of you that drive, like sit in your car for an extra minute. Just get in and just get all your stuff sorted, turn on your radio, fix your mirrors, put your seatbelt on, just kind of get relaxed, take a deep breath, and just look at the clock for 1 minute and just look at it. If it says 8:13, just, you don't have to stare at it. Just be like, okay, I'm going to take 1 minute to just take some breaths and think about what I've done to this point in the day and think about what I'm going to do next. I promise you, those mental transitions are going to do wonders to help you slow down. And then we got into alcoholic tradecraft. That's just a funny episode, man. I've told that story for years, and people always laugh. They love it. They think it's hilarious. They look at their own sneaking, hiding, lying, their own Jason Bourne CIA antics, and they laugh because we are alcoholics, drug addicts, we are some clever, clever people, right? That's why I picked that photo on the You Are Not Original episode, because I said in the story, even as clever as I thought I was, I'd go to AA and I'd find out I wasn't that clever with the dog food thing, right? But if you look at the picture of me, I'm probably like 7 years old. I'll have to ask my mom. Just look at my face. Just look at it. You can tell that in my mind, I am up to something. I've got some devious plan going on in my little evil brain. And I have a similar picture of my niece Zoe that I'm going to put up. It was us in San Diego on the USS Midway. Man, she took me for a ride on one of those things. She made me so sick I was about to throw up inside of that machine. But there's a picture of us right before we go on the ride. And she's got the same devious look on her face. And then, oh my God, you are not alone. What a funny story about the beer bottles, the recycle guy. Dang, man. Oh my God. I'm going to end this episode and pick it back up with the next one and talk about You're Not Alone and You're Not Original.